Word, YouTube. It's your boy Big Will back again. So I'm driving on 24 South, Massachusetts. It's a shitty ride, right? But just brings back some time, man, and you can relate it to being locked up. Because you sit here by yourself and you listen to music that either gets you in the mood to be happy or depresses you, right? But it's the alone factor that gets you. So a lot of people say, like, I can go to jail. Ain't no one's gonna mess with me. Ain't no one's gonna touch me. No one's gonna rape me. I can go to jail. I can do it. These guys forget who I am. That's not the problem, right? The strongest men have broke in jail. You really don't realize how powerful your mind is until you're locked in a cage and there's no way to get out. If you can't control your thoughts, you can't control the noise in your head. If you're someone who is stuck on the outside, even when you're inside, if you're doing time still on the streets locked in a cage, you're gonna break. You're gonna break. You can't handle it. The hardest thing it was ever for me to do when I went to jail was give my will over to God. That's it. That's it. When I got on that, when I was in that courthouse and that judge said, remanded to the Massachusetts Department of Corrections, your mind, your psyche, your spirit just deflates. It's almost like a doctor tells you you only got a day left to live. You just sigh, and when you become institutionalized and you do it over and over again, it gets easier. And yeah, people can do it, right? You learn to. See, before I went to prison, I wasn't an only child, right? I had brothers and sisters, but like I grew up in a household where it was just me and my brother and my mother, right? My mother had a different husband, or a couple of them, and my other brother lived with his father, and then my other brother and sister lived with their mother. So it was just me and my brother in my household, and my mother worked all the time. We would get up from school, she would be sleeping. We would leave for school, she would go to work at 11 a.m. She was a waitress. We would come home from school, she would be working. We would go to bed. Or she worked in a Chinese restaurant most of her life. She would call us in, we'd go down, have supper, me and my brother. And then we were free to roam, should I say. We were free to do whatever we want. Yeah, Ma, we're going to bed. And we're out doing what we want. Right? So, the alone factor, because my brother had his friends and I had mine, and he had his entertainment and I had mine, you know. And then when we came home at night, then we were brothers, but we were alone. You know what I mean? There was no father there. My father was in prison all his life. You know, the father was a letter once in a while from prison saying that he found God and he changed, which that was all a line that all inmates use, all convicts use when they send letters home to their family and loved ones. I found God, I've changed, I have seen the coming of the light. Holy, 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 right? And then, dang, set your fucking high beams off. And then, you don't hear from him, you know. But there was nobody there, so I was able. So at a young age, I was able to compartmentalize my shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to deal with being alone, so to speak. Now, I had a very big family on my father's side. Very big family. I was well known. We were well known growing up. We were a big family in the city that we lived. Everybody knew my family, you know. So I had a lot of friends, a lot of cousins, even young age. But that's not being alone. You know what I'm saying? It's having friends. Being alone is gonna be emotional, mental, physical. It's a package deal. It's not just, oh, I'm hanging out with, you know, my boy and I'm not alone today. No, you're not. You're not physically alone, but you are mentally alone. You're emotionally and spiritually alone. So, you always get this thing from people that say, look at me. I'm built like a brick shit house. I can go to jail. I can survive. And then they get locked in that cage. And you don't come out for 23 hours. And you want to see the superheroes. You want to see the King Kongs. And you want to see the Batmans and the Supermans. You want to see them crumble. Because they can't handle it. They can't handle it. And it's funny. It's funny to me that people always think that everything has to be physical. So when you go to jail and you write home to your family and nobody responds, what do? You start to break, right? And then you lay down and you hear love songs, or you hear songs that remind you of when you and your wife first met. The songs that reminisce about your baby being born. And it breaks you. All you little gangsters out there that think that because you carry a gun, you can do jail time. Because you sleep outside and run the streets all hours of the night and your parents don't mind you, you can do jail time. I only say this to you. When you go, I dare you not to tell on the guy you're with. When you get handcuffed and they question you, I challenge you not to tell. Today's kids, you're not cool if you don't tell. Right? Wrong. You're not cool if you go to jail. But you don't not go to jail by telling. If you do the crime, you do the time. Point blank. But practice. Go home and practice. Sit there and meditate and think. And think. And try and stay away from your girl for the night. And try not to talk to your kids all night. And just put your headphones on and see if you can zone out and listen to music. And get up and go to the bathroom and just have them ignore you. When you fight with your wife, it bothers you, right? You don't like being ignored. You don't like to argue. Picture when you go to jail and you're still living in the streets. And you're worried about who your wife's talking to. Because you know she likes to be on the phone at 9 p.m. when you can't make a call. You wonder if your wife's home sleeping alone. Because she lives in the woods and nobody can see who's coming to her house. Them things will kill people. Them things will drive people to kill themselves. And it's sad to say. People have committed suicide because of things like that. Because they can't handle it. So I challenge you to look deep into your inner self. And ask yourself, are you really ready to go to jail? Are you really ready? Are you really ready to take the life you live and the way you act all the way to the hoop? If you are, you might just make it. But if you're like 80% of the other kids out there nowadays, you're going to have troubles. Your kids better smarten up. Get a job, do the right thing. Stay away from prison. It's your boy Big Will. Hey, like and subscribe to this video. I'll see you all in the next one. I appreciate you for rocking with me. I'll see you all. Salute to everyone. Peace.